Jesus.
Have a little suck.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Dangerous Show, episode 2, or is it 2.5?
I think we got to count down.
Okay.
Actually, so we're at negative.
I'm your host, Tim Hines.
And I'm your guest, Nikola Pejovic.
Thank you. I need to get an intro going for sure, like fucking music and all that fancy stuff.
Certainly.
Yeah, gotta get my life together.
It
First thing I need to do is press the goddamn record button, because for those of you watching this, we just recorded an 1.5-hour pod. About ready to wrap it up. Great conversation.
Gems, just pure gems, full.
It was definitely a game changer of a pod for sure. Yeah. And then I go, oh shit, it says all zeros, which I hate to tell you this, but that's actually the second time I've done that.
Oh my God.
But it's fine. I'll work on your van. I won't mess anything up. It's fine.
Zoom, that's who makes this?
Zoom, yeah, it's a piece of shit.
No. Zoom, if you're listening. Maybe different color lights, maybe.
Well, because that's the problem. You turn the channels on, you hear the feedback in the headset, you're like, okay, we're good. We're rolling. Yeah. But you're not.
You're not rolling yet.
Till that little light's on.
But we're back. We're back again.
We're back. Here we are, round 2. What are we going to talk about?
Let's see. Well, I'm Nikola from Boulder Nomadic.
Yes.
Boulder, Colorado.
Fitting.
It's a van shop.
How did you come up with that?
That's a good question. I had a hard time with the naming.
It's
just like... Yeah.
Everything's been taken.
Yeah.
It's all been taken.
Yeah, and everything's like, you think of it, and the more you think about it, you're like, that's so stupid.
Yes.
And I think that it seemed kind of stupid, but it seemed like the least stupid of my other ideas. So I went with it, and
there we go.
I'm not sure if it's stupid anymore, but
no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's fitting.
Yeah,
it's fitting.
Yeah,
except
it's a little punny.
Are you nomadic?
No, I'm not. That's
okay.
why.
Yeah, it's very domestic. I get the domesticated vibe.
Yeah,
yeah,
but it's for the nomads.
Okay, it's making sense.
But it's in a place called Boulder, which is
that does fit.
Yeah. Yeah,
Boulder.
So
it's a special place.
It is.
The place has it's a little special place in my heart. It was one of my first experiences in Colorado, the great state of Colorado, way back in like 2012. I think I came through and hung out in Boulder and went hiking and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Fell in love with the state.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how did
like that?
How'd you leave?
Well, I was driving I had a 2001 Ford F-250 with an 8-inch stack coming out of the exhaust, straight piped. So I left in literally a cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
From my diesel engine.
Yeah.
And some angry protesters behind me for sure.
Yeah, it's like one Prius isn't very threatening, but you get like a few hundred of them.
Yeah, it's scary.
Behind you.
Yeah, it was a lot. Sure. I actually didn't return to Boulder for a long, long time after that experience.
I wouldn't either.
You go to the bar and you're like, oh, meet nice people. I'm like, cool, Colorado's rad. This place is awesome. They're like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I drill oil and gas wells for a living. Like, you rape the planet.
Yeah, usually, stores will like put up signs of like people who habitually steal in Boulder. they put up signs of anyone with a modified diesel.
Yes.
They get tagged, and there's a lot of software engineers and tech people, so they know you're there before you do.
AI does. That was 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago. I can only imagine that it's gotten more so.
Certainly. Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Internal combustion.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's a funny place. There's kind of a lot of duality there, because it's like, on the one hand, it has an idea of itself as being a thing and being, very climate friendly. And that's the industry that I worked in when you were doing oil and gas. I was designing super efficient envelopes for houses so they could run on like mini splits and have very low heating, cooling loads. And yeah, it's just such a small drop in the bucket. And there's massive houses there, and yeah, a lot of people have a crazy amount of cars and Teslas, and yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a confused place in one way, and it's a wonderful place in another.
I actually have a lot of like really good friends that live there, and all of them kind of share the same sentiment of like making fun of the environment in which they live. They're like, yeah, these people, my neighbors, take ourselves way too seriously.
Yeah. There's a lot of easy pickings.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's beautiful.
But we have a lot of, it's people. We have a lot of great customers out of there.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's definitely a kind of a van epicenter too.
It's just really, really easy to like kind of poke fun at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think what's especially fun about it is like I think Boulder, it doesn't like have a great kind of sense of humor about it itself a lot of times. So that makes it doubly fun.
It's like when you're with your boys, right?
Yeah.
And somebody figures out that like, oh, hey, talking about his chick like really pisses him off.
Yeah.
And that's all you do,
in
right? You just dig
doubly.
in. Yeah.
Or if someone comments on your YouTube video that you're dangerous, irresponsible, eligible bachelor or whatever they said to you.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Then yeah, you dig in and make a shirt with it.
Yes. Wildly popular shirt, apparently. Who knew?
Flying off the shelves.
It is. Yeah. I got to order more, actually. I was supposed to do that today, and then I got distracted making 3 podcasts. So
3 podcasts. If a podcast is recorded and you don't push the button, does it make a noise?
No, not at all. I mean, I think we could just put the video up and people that could lip sync. Or you had a good idea. We run it through ChatGPT, and then they just subtitle
Closed captioning.
Right.
Just for the true fans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God. All right, moving on. But just let it go, okay?
It's over.
I appreciate this gift you gave me.
Yeah, we can explain.
Boost oxygen. Yeah, explain this. Because you brought me oxygen, and then what else did you bring me? Like this is the first gift I've been given on the show.
Low dose aspirin.
Baby aspirin.
Yeah, baby aspirin. And a bit of a gag, but also pretty
useful.
Serious.
Yeah. I mean, heart attacks kill thousands of people.
Most of them.
Yes. Most of them.
Yeah.
And if it's not the heart attack, it's the lack of oxygen.
It's the lack of oxygen. So my thought with these 2 things was Tim's new van, which you've surely seen if you're watching this on YouTube. And it's probably, you're looking at 7 thumbnails of it right now.
2. Wait. Yeah.
To
the screen
viewer.
blanked out. I need to actually
get that up there.
Yeah.
So because Tim's van, number one, it sucks the oxygen out of the room. People gasp when they look at it. That I figured that it might send some people into cardiac arrest, and that he's going to need to have a can of pure oxygen on hand to save lives when his van is out in the wild.
We van performance and saving lives.
But after we recorded the first podcast that didn't record, I figured that we probably needed some for personal use, so we cracked into the oxygen.
So if you need it, bring your own oxygen. We are at 6,000 feet up here.
BYO.
You've been warned. God. So let's just briefly recap the initial conversation. We met at the Rebel Rally in Durango in 2021. 21? That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever. We briefly met there. Our good mutual friend and inventor of the ultimate game-changing stereo system, the ultimate game-changing Rebel power system. Just a lot of absolute game-changing upgrades for your Sprinter van.
Yeah.
Aaron,
he's a spirit leader.
Aaron with Rome Rig, our mutual buddy. He kind of put us in contact because he needed a shop to install a Rome Rig power system in this part of the country. And he said, hey, Nikola wants to come out and install at your shop. Could we work something out? We'll pay you a bunch of money. All of that, which I've seen $0 of, Aaron. So if you're watching, I keep checking the mailbox, but the checks, talk to your bookie or something, because it's not here.
Take a breath.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyways,
So
he came out, did a power system install here, and that's basically how we met. And
yeah. And so I do a lot of Roam rig installs, and
the most in the world, I think.
possibly,
actually. Yeah.
the most single-handedly for sure.
How many have you done? I know you can't. Look, I know you can't give exact numbers, but
There's a lot of lawyers on the line right now, but
are they watching this?
They're definitely watching this.
Okay.
So I can't say the exact number, but it's somewhere almost around 3 digits. I know that much. Somewhere around there.
Okay. Does your bookkeeper have the exact figures? Or
No.
Okay,
I don't know what my bookkeeper does.
Do you have a bookkeeper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank God.
They do the books. I used to do it myself, and it was going fine. But it was just a bit too much work, so I hired someone, and
it's such a pain in the ass.
I don't know.
So you have a bookkeeper.
Yeah.
And okay, cool.
Just me.
Yeah, that's good.
Just me. Single man shop.
Yeah.
So I'm stretched thin in a lot of areas, but
aren't we all?
Yeah, time is the most limited resource, and I use a lot of my time doing Roam rig installs and work on revels. A lot of revels come through, and
so normally for those watching that maybe know me or know my personality or something, I'm pretty OCD, and I don't let people just like work in my shop. It's customers want to come and work in the shop and they want to hang out, and I'm like, no, right?
Yeah, it's risky business.
So when Aaron said, hey, can you come, can I let Nikola come and work in your shop, I was like, is he gonna make a mess? Is he gonna touch my tools? Like what, and he like vouched for you, right? But that first install you did, I was like, okay, this dude's solid. Like everything was clean, everything was put away. So if you're thinking about having a power system installed, this is your guy. And he can come to my shop and do it.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, he will. 6 bays. Okay.
6 bays, yeah.
I've got 6 14-foot doors.
Big doors. Lots of air conditioning.
You don't have to air down the tires to bring the vans in. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not dissing your shop. Okay, but
no, it's an issue. It's an issue for sure. My shop is a little short, so the taller, beefed up.
You're welcome.
Revels, yeah, a la Tim. He jacks them up, and I have to air them down.
I love it when a customer's like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited! I'm coming to Colorado. We're going to do all this stuff to my van. I'm going to go to Adrenaline. We're getting suspension. We're getting wheels and tires. We're going to put 35s on it and a lift kit and this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. What else are you doing while you're in the state?" And they're like, "Oh, after we're done at your shop, we're going to go to Boulder Nomadic and get a Revel power system." I'm like,
exactly.
Sweet. Let's put some bigger tires on there.
Yeah. Please just do the same exact thing, but in reverse.
Yeah. That's actually, people should know that.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. We need some kind of synergy there. Maybe on the marketing side, so people know the order of operation.
It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
I mean, for me personally, it's heartbreaking.
You've gotten it to like
and it's
7 minutes.
crushing, but
7 minutes, right? You can air down.
God, no.
Okay.
It takes forever.
Wow.
But I haven't blown the tires off anything yet.
Good.
But another step for me. And another feature of Boulder is very, very limited commercial real estate.
Yes.
And what is available is expensive and of variable quality. So while I do, quite crispy work, if I don't say so myself,
indeed.
it is hard to find equivalent property.
And that was my point, really, in bringing the mentioning your work, was that if you're gonna get a power system installed, you're gonna have some high end electrical work done in your Revel or whatever van. He's your guy. So
thank you. Yeah,
quality.
It seems like
quality. I fully endorse it, and I'm a bit OCD and try to be pretty critical of the work that we put out as a shop. And your work is incredible.
Yeah,
so,
and likewise. And it's been interesting seeing, like, getting to know each other. Has been, I don't know, at least a significant portion of it is like seeing each other's work, like roll through the shop, like. Yeah. Having customers saying like, I was just at Adrenaline Vans or Boulder Nomadic, and like hearing, about their experience. And
we have a lot of mutual customers actually, which is hilarious because we'll text each other back and forth all the time. Like, oh, hey, so-and-so says hi. And
it's great.
It's cool. Yeah. And then of course we criticize each other's stuff. You know, we don't say it, but we're looking, making sure.
Oh, we're
right?
looking.
We're looking.
Usually, though, it's like, and I'm sure that you have seen the comedy of errors that can come out of many other shops around the country.
Sure.
But yeah, it's hard to do a really clean, durable, good-looking install of anything or
Right.
custom work.
Yes.
Not that you do.
I try not to do much custom work.
Yeah,
I don't
it's-
really like that word. In fact, if you could just stop saying that right now,
Custom,
that would be
custom,
great.
Custom. No, the custom stuff is hard, but it is also hard to do. A clean install of a compressor or a Wii Boost or a Starlink or really anything.
There's like so many different levels to it because, yeah, pretty much anybody can bolt in a compressor and like run some lines and make it work. And don't get me wrong, we've come a long ways from the beginning. I mean,
Yeah, same.
I have installs that come back, you know, and they get more
Yeah.
things, and I'm like, oh, we are redoing that
Yeah.
because that was terrible.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
So it's like
Oh, it didn't break? My God, yeah, let's change
Yeah.
that out real quick
it's
before
a
it does.
great like time capsule and like stamp of.
But it
how
is
far you've
nice
come.
to be at a point where you're like, okay, I know like the standard that I hold my shop to now.
Yeah.
And when you see other stuff come in, you're like, okay, we're doing okay.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting about being just me in the shop is like kind of the only contact I really have with like the greater industry is at van events number one, and then like seeing the actual work, which speaks a lot but is
Right.
silent. So like
Right.
I
And,
can only
and a lot of it you don't really see. Like maybe the customer would never notice.
right.
Really, and maybe other shops wouldn't even notice unless you get in there and kind of look at it and you see, okay, oh, I see what he did there.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what corner they cut, or, oh no, these guys did a good job.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it's always great to see stuff come in where you're like, God damn it, why didn't I think of that? Like, that's a
Yeah.
great idea, you know, and
Yeah.
you kind of learn stuff and pick things up. But we've done that a ton, you know, from other shops. You're like, well, shit, that makes life way easier. Why didn't we think of that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to see what comes through the door, and most of it could use a little polish, but I think that is why we get along. Is like
Yeah.
at great personal expense to both of us.
Oh my God.
The
Yeah. So
OCD
many
side of it.
hours with the lost billable hours just gone because
Yeah.
we can't turn off the OCD.
Sometimes people are asking me about what I do, and I'll just lead with, I spend about 6 hours a day zip tying things, manipulating zip ties in some way or another.
So speaking of our mutual friend Aaron, I was told that the reason I was having trouble with cash flow was because I spent too much money on zip ties. Because I buy the nice tie wrap metal tab zip ties, UV resistant, you know, all that.
Hell yeah.
And then I got a little self-conscious about it, and I was like, well, how much am I spending? And then I looked, and I actually do spend a lot on zip ties. But how satisfying is it to just take a nice tie wrap and it's
Oh my God, I
silent,
wish we
it
had
doesn't
one
snap.
right
Like
now.
I really think we need to demonstrate the difference here, but my God,
It's huge. Yeah, and zip ties are crazy expensive.
they are.
For the casual zip tie user, it's like, a couple bucks here, a couple
Sure.
bucks there, but
No, I spend literally hundreds of dollars a month
easy.
on zip ties.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the flush cutters to go with it
Snap on, of course, right?
for you.
Oh,
Yes.
do you want a pair? I've got 3, I think. Maybe it's 4. I
I'll
don't know.
take them to my grave.
We did discuss the snap-on problem that we have here at the shop earlier.
Yeah, I don't know who to call to help. with
There's
this,
not
but-
a helpline for it.
Yeah.
Is maybe a gambling? Nope, that's not
Yeah.
even because you can't really justify
Yeah.
gambling, but you can justify tools because you're like, well, I'm going to use this. It's a write-off.
Yeah.
But look at these.
And good tools are, beautiful.
They are.
I love them more than most things. It's like if a real good tool.
Like girlfriend or that really nice 3/8 drive stubby ratchet that just feels perfect in your hand. Like
girlfriend.
Gonna miss you, babe.
Love you. No, but a nice tool is a nice tool, and I don't let the Snap-on guy make eye contact with me because he has not.
It's all over.
He has not added me to his map of.
Oh, so he doesn't even stop at your shop.
Well, no, he doesn't. My next door neighbor is a mechanic.
Yes.
And the Snap-on guy, all the other guys, all the other trucks, they're there.
Yep.
And I'm hiding from them because I know the second they get in the door, I'm weak.
He comes every Thursday here.
I think he's twice a week in Boulder.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah.
That would break me.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would ever financially recover from that.
You wouldn't. But you combine that with Boulder rent and
Ooh.
yeah. You're dancing with the devil. So we talked about
we talked about how we met.
Zip ties.
We talked about
how
zip
we
ties.
met,
Yeah.
Tools and
we didn't talk about. So we talked quite a while about motorcycles.
quite a while. Yeah, we're both
And-
motorcyclists, and yeah, I ride a KTM 890 as my main bike at the moment.
I'm going to let you slide with that, but that's the last time you can mention those 3 letters in this shop.
Okay, I'll say an orange Austrian thing that goes real fast over everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a bunch of other bikes. I don't think you know that I have a vintage BMW too.
That's cool.
74 R75/6, and that's
Really?
a lot of numbers right in a row. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 750cc airhead, and that's actually how I got into working on vans, which I don't think you know about either.
No.
But yeah, I bought this old like barn bike that didn't run, this BMW, and I had a bunch of roommates in Boulder, and there was a small garage with like a 40-watt light bulb in it. And
That was it.
like I restored that bike, really, really cleanly over a long time with no tools, no experience.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner of a pretty new van shop in Denver was at the time dating and is now married to one of my roommate's sisters.
Okay.
So he would come over and he saw what I was doing and kind of took me aside one day and was like, "You should come in for an interview."
Yeah.
And I was working in an office doing energy efficiency kind of design consulting, and I was like, "Nah, I got it figured out. I'm on a path." And then like I just then noticed myself like racing home after work to spend the rest of the hours of the day and into the evening working on this thing, and just how much it did for me, kind of wrenching on something. So within a few months, I went down for an interview and got hired and started working on vans. It was random
Badass.
kind of series of events, but yeah, again, through motorcycles.
Yeah.
Similarly.
Yeah. That was what, 2017, you said?
2017, yeah.
Yeah. So you've been in the van game a little longer than I have, at least professionally. Because I think I bought my first van in 2017 to race motorcycles out of. I was like traveling for work all the time, and the van was the perfect vehicle to put all my bikes and race gear in, and then just have it ready. And as soon as I had a day off, I'd just take off and go to the track or travel and go ride. So I built that one out in 17 and had zero aspirations to ever do anything van related for a living.
And I think that's a common story, is like someone getting into it for personal use and then becoming a pro,
right?
With mixed results, but
mixed results. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, a lot, especially during the pandemic. That's how a lot of people like they quit their job and built a van.
Dude, I did a phone interview with like this market research company. They called and they were like, "Hey, can you we'll pay you whatever it was, $200 or something to do an hour phone questionnaire kind of thing.
Nice.
And this young dude called me, super cool guy, and we just bullshitted about how the business started and like what we did exactly. And so I got to asking him, I'm like, what exactly are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we're doing market research for some big company, and they wanted to know about the camper van industry. And so we basically went on Explore Van X's website and contacted every single van builder in the country and tried to set up an interview.
Cool.
I was like, cool. And I'm like, how many interviews are you guys doing? And they're like, well, we had 355 different companies that we contacted. And I was like, holy shit, 300. Yeah. And that was, several months ago. That was probably a year ago.
Yeah.
And there were 355 like official van companies in the US
That's
listed on that site. That's crazy. And I mean, there's a lot that are like out of a driveway and out of a garage or whatever.
It will be interesting to see how that evolves if like when the market gets saturated with,
I feel like it's pretty saturated right now. I mean, I don't know what
it's interesting because when I started working for the van shop, and I don't know if I mentioned the name, but Van Life Customs.
Right. I've seen their vans
Denver.
in here.
They're amazing. Yeah. And Dave is the owner, who's the absolute man. But that was like, that felt at least like early days compared to where we sit now. But in 2017, it felt like this is a bubble. This is going to burst surely soon. And completely the opposite happened.
Yeah.
So back then there was very few van companies that you could name, or you'd have to kind of know what you're looking for to find a builder with a good reputation. And when I started at Van Life, it was a small shop, 3 or 4 builders, and now I mean they have a shop with I think 8 or 9 bays.
Damn.
And they're doing amazing work and are huge.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see how quickly it has morphed, and the stuff that we were doing was truly the dirty word, full custom.
Yes.
At that time, and very few of the products that exist now that you see on all these vans existed back then. I mean, there was a Luminous was around, and
they were
the strongest
kind of
player,
pioneers, honestly,
absolutely.
in the industry, really. Because everyone else was after that.
Yeah, it's crazy how it took off.
Yeah, 355. I just that kind of blew me away when I heard that number.
Yeah.
It's oh my God.
Yeah, I wonder.
It will be really interesting to see how it evolves, in the coming years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what will be the great filter?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We have a lot of offline conversations about stuff we see coming through the shops that we don't need to get into the nitty gritty on, but there's plenty of eyebrow raising things that you see, and you just wonder okay, what will be the great filter ultimately?
Yeah, I think the economy.
Yeah,
unfortunately, but so it goes.
Yeah, so we just get in deep on politics and the economy.
Yeah, we should go there directly.
Sweet.
Yeah, and right now.
Maybe right after religion and.
Yeah, what else?
What's your stance on woke culture?
Yeah, with aliens, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, aliens, I think, they definitely exist somewhere, but
dude, they're here.
They're here.
They're here.
I mean, your van does look like a UFO.
They are. That's another thing
absolutely
I was
thinking about the other day. If your van was a UFO, say, and it was landing on an Earth-like planet with Earthling type people, we'll call them.
Sure.
Would the first thought be they come in peace, or full on Independence Day?
I think peace.
Peace? Your van?
There's not armament on it yet.
I mean, I would say that the horns up there.
Yeah. You could kill somebody with those. So here's the deal.
They are violence.
Here's the deal. I think you can kill somebody at 192 decibels. 190 decibels.
Sounds like a horrible way to go.
I think that's I think 190 decibels is enough to kill a human, I believe. I'm no scientist.
I don't want to
or
know how
whatever.
they know that
So
either.
I don't know. Probably Soviets figured that out or something. Back in the day.
R.I.P. whoever
Whatever.
was involved.
But the horn is like 152 decibels. So it's
Oh my God.
it's really loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking.
So it's a near-death experience when you get to experience that.
Yeah.
Again,
Hence
yeah.
the oxygen.
Yeah.
Someone's going to need it.
No, mostly I think it's a peaceful thing. It's disruptive, but it's peaceful.
Peacefully disruptive.
Now,
peaceful
we've got a
protest.
lot of mutual industry friends and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you can maybe give me a pulse on the feedback. I really hadn't had any feedback on it other than like my industry people, and of course, they're my buddies, so they're going to be pretty nice for the most part. But I took it to San Juan Capistrano for the Adventure Van Expo and like showed it to the public, in person, not just on the internet. And the public seemed to really like it. They got a kick out of it, right? Everybody's taking selfies, everybody's taking pictures. And then the industry folks, the people that came and talked to me, they're like, "Oh yeah, your van's it's pretty wild, it's pretty out there." And then some of my boys, they're like, "Hey, dude, we love your van," because there are some people talking mad shit about how freaking idiotic it is, and like, can't believe you did that, and it just made me really happy.
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. I love it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not my aesthetic at all. I like kind of minimal, kind of very crispy.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude. But
The all white van out front? I had no idea.
the all white van with free candy in it and just a bit of primer on the outside.
Just a bit. Just the right amount.
No, I think it's absolutely perfect because it's like it's so over the top and ridiculous, and I think that's kind of what's missing from the van world at large.
I think so.
Because now that there are a lot of vans out there and a lot of them are pre-built, like
Yep.
storytellers, revels, and it's awesome that so many people are in them, but it's like visually they look the same. So to have a flagship van that's like no one will mistake that for like a storyteller for a revel or like a benchmark vehicles van for a Van Life Customs van or whatever. So it's so over the top that it's like kind of treading a new ground, at least in this space. I mean, jet skis have had you covered. Krusty the Clown has beat.
Wow.
Has he beat? Maybe like some gas station male enhancement pill company has
Maybe
like a
we were
similar
talking earlier
logo.
about sponsorships. Maybe that could be a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, ED is a serious problem.
What
right here.
Hims, right? That's the brand,
Hims.
but they're kind of a tame brand. I mean, that their marketing is pretty.
Yeah. You want to go
boring.
like something with a animal on it, like a rhino or an apex predator for sure.
Yeah.
You could release your own line of.
Instead of Twinkies on the windshield visor, it could be Viagra or whatever. So male enhancement
Hide your
companies
kids,
out there,
hide your wife.
yeah, we're looking for sponsors because there's still a lot of money that needs to go into this thing, and so there's a little bit of real estate available on the windshield that's not covered.
And for the driver, I mean, that's kind of a full
Yeah.
package.
Yeah.
In the unrecorded podcast, we both realized that Tim has Oakleys.
Oh,
And
yeah, dude,
it's just like
that's a real problem. I don't know where I put them, but
they're behind you over there. But it's
Holbrooks.
it's almost like Pit Viper already hired you.
They
to
hired, so
number
it was
one
a
beat
false
you,
start. It was like
Build that.
there was a lot of foreplay. We messaged on Instagram, and then they left me on red. So, yeah, can you believe that?
No.
No. So here we are.
Yeah. They seem like the kind of folks to, follow up, check in, see how you're doing.
I was
and
disappointed.
Maybe throw you
a little hurt.
a little something.
Honestly, a little
Yeah.
hurt. I got over it. I've moved on.
Well,
But I would talk to them if they approached me.
if they did,
that
that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be perfect for forget what else we came up
Wakeboard,
with.
tower
Yep.
speakers. Those need to happen.
Yeah.
They're also like incredibly expensive.
Really?
Yeah, they're like a
I mean, I
grand.
guess that makes
I
sense.
mean, it's no more than the door speakers, but
My God, yeah. I'm looking
Rockford,
out at the van.
Rockford, Fosgate, if you're listening, we need some of those
Some
tower
big
speakers.
towers,
Let's
just
get those
for
coming.
public announcements at the very least.
Yes. Maintain 6 feet.
I like the way that sounds when
You get real close.
Yeah. It's my first podcast, so
Yeah. I mean, pretty
Tim's
much mine
first
too.
as well.
Clearly, at least the first one that I've ever fully recorded without screwing up the audio or the video.
One thing we didn't talk about that I'm curious about, it's like what the future kind of looks like. I mean,
Oh God,
you're opening up a.
this is scary.
I know
The
it's scary
future's
business.
scary.
It really is, and it is for me too. That's for sure. I mean,
We're in this
who
together.
knows?
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of us on this planet, and at large, kind of.
You went real broad with that.
I know. I'm sorry.
I thought we had a thing, but
No, us
oh,
more than them. But for the future, you have a shop that's almost done. That's
Almost
being
done.
built. Like, what are you, I guess, most excited about in the next 5 years? I mean, I imagine you think of your new shop being full of talented, competent people with
yes.
like beautiful vans getting.
So
better.
I do have beautiful, talented people
Yeah.
working for me now,
Yeah.
as everybody knows if they've been here.
Certainly.
But I would love more. So obviously, as we expand, I'm trying to be as strategic as possible. I'm not just like blindly opening a shop and like hoping I can support it and all that. You know, it's strategic. It's planned. I'm very excited about being efficient with what we do now currently. So doing what we do on Sprinter vans, but better, right? And more efficient.
Yeah.
And more volume. So having the space to do it properly, being able to flow more volume through it. Like I'm excited about that. But when it comes to expanding, I've thought a lot about this, because, I do work on some ProMasters, some Transits, things like that. Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm super happy to work on those vehicles if people want to have us do upgrades to them. But what really gets me excited is more on the, I have a racing background, right? And so sports cars get me excited. Off-road trucks get me stoked. Motorcycles. So I'm looking forward to expanding more into like more of the off-road side of things when it comes to like trucks and Broncos and just some more of the wild builds. It's fine to just do wheels and tires on a daily every once in a while, but to build something that's like purpose built for racing or for pre-running or for rock crawling or whatever, that's pretty exciting to me.
Yeah.
Or to work on a high performance car, like that's pretty exciting. So I would love to branch into something that's more on the performance side of things, and maybe less so of just run of the mill Jeep upgrades or something like that, right? I think for the most part, the bread and butter of the business is still going to be Sprinter vans.
Mm-hmm.
It's our niche. That's what we're good at. It's how we've kind of established ourselves in the industry, and it'll probably continue to be that way. But I think we will kind of take on some more platforms as we expand and have room and personnel to do it.
Yeah.
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 What about you? What's the next?
That's a great question. Yeah, I've found that like I get so sucked into like the details of things and the actual work that it's been hard to like really get the 5-year like best case scenario kind of image in my head, because there's so many things that are pain points today.
Yep.
And that it's like it's kind of a false dream that you say like, oh well, if that part of the shop was a bit cleaner or a bit more ergonomical, then I would have more time to figure out what's next. I do know that like, I have a lot of constraints with Boulder, like the real estate thing, and having help around the shop, being just a single person, like, yeah, it's super rewarding. And like, I am the face, and having that direct interaction with customers, it's like the brand is me, which is great, but it's also, a lot of pressure. So, yeah, I think figuring out a way to kind of pop the cork on the pressure cooker a little bit and get a little breathing room, so I can get excited about something that hasn't been done before, or someone is not doing as good as I know I could.
Right.
Yeah.
I think 5-year plans are tough.
They really are.
Especially for me personally, like on a personal level, way before the business, people would ask me that kind of stuff. Mostly chicks that I was dating. Oh, so like, where do you see yourself? And I'm like, what kind of bullshit question is that? Girl, I don't know where I'm going to be next week. And I love that because I always, military, get deployed all the time, whatever. Love the constant change of plans. I loved constantly shifting gears. And so after the military, I did a bunch of different work in, welding, fabrication industry, always just moving from job to job, with those different companies. And it was always a change of pace, different projects. It's exciting. I worked in oil and gas and was always moving around. Always had like a last minute schedule where you'd go home and be like, oh, I don't have a week off. You'd be home for like 3 days and they'd call you, hey, I need you here tomorrow.
Yeah.
And while it was extremely disruptive, like I loved it. I was like, oh, I got to go. Here's my thing. Right. And so now to have a business and, banks, especially, they want to know like your 5-year, I got to write a pro forma for something. And I was like, oh yeah, where are you, what
Latin?
are you? Yeah. I don't fucking know, dude. And they were like, yeah, where, how much, where's your financials now? And where do you see them in like 6 months, a year and a half, 3 years? And I'm like, what the fuck knows? This is crazy. Let me just guess at this. Cause I think back, like the last 3 years, the last 3 years, so much has changed in the industry. A lot of things have changed with my business. There's been like a lot of growth, but also a lot of change just in direction with what I've done. I mean, I started out with the terrible C word, full custom build vans, and completely shifted my business, pivoted and made a big change in what we do. Yeah. And so I think like 5 years, who knows? Like, because I think about it and realistically I'm going, am I going to be doing exactly what I'm doing right now in 3 years? Like probably not. It's probably going to change and morph. And what is that going to look like? I don't know. You try to have like a good idea in front of you and like make smart decisions that ultimately will benefit your business, but who freaking knows?
I know. Yeah, it is a super hard question. I'm particularly bad at answering it.
Yeah, I get real nervous when people ask me that stuff. I'm like,
yeah, I spend most of the time just like explaining why I don't think that's a question that like makes sense and how it's like really easy to ask, but impossible to
Next
answer.
Question.
So how about those Yankees?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. No, yeah, I feel similarly. Like it's really hard, and just looking back at like the inflection points of like where I have come from personally and professionally, like I couldn't have written those down.
No way.
Or
there's no way.
None of them would have seemed possible in both positive and negative ways.
Right. I just think about the growth that we've experienced and where I'm trying to like put the business. And I always think like, okay, you've got to take some risk, but then you also have to be strategic with it and be smart about it. And that's just kind of always been my thought process is like, I'm willing to take some risk for sure. Personally, like I don't, I'm not motivated by money. I want to grow a successful company. So I'm like willing to take certain risks, but at the same time, I want it to be strategic. I don't want to just be so strung out that, something fails. So just trying to play that balancing act. And it's been fun, but it's also like incredibly nerve wracking. Like, am I making the right decision on all these different moves? And
I mean, rolling your van as a party trick just to get eyes on you, just for a clickbait video.
I didn't think anybody was gonna catch on to that, but you waited.
It was
way to
obvious.
just blow it. Really?
Yeah, that
I
does
think
not
that,
seem
I
like
think
a
that
risk
was
at
in
first.
the. I think that was in the YouTube comments. Probably somebody was like, "Yeah,
Oh, I'm
clickbait."
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm similar, like kind of looking for what
You want to
risk.
roll your van?
Yeah, I think. Well,
Okay.
now that you cornered the rolling of
Yeah,
your own
I don't
van
think you
market,
can copy
like,
that move now. I think that's played out.
It was played out before you, and I actually realized this the other day. I saw a
Don't
little.
crush my little.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't deserve the fame. There was a guy who's a pilot.
Okay.
I forget his name, but he's I don't know, one of those personalities on the internet that everyone kind of hates, but they keep doing things that are
Like a private pilot,
private pilot
and he crashed his
skydiver.
plane.
Yeah, he faked that the plane broke. I don't know. That sounds so, I don't know.
Okay.
Luddite, but the plane stopped working and it was going down. Conveniently, he had a parachute on.
Of course.
And jumped out, filmed the whole thing, made a YouTube video about it.
Yes.
And all these pilots immediately are like,
That's bullshit.
that's complete bullshit. He did this as a stunt. And he was criminally charged then by the FAA, I think.
Yes. Federal Agricultural Association, I think.
That's right. And I forget if he's going to serve any jail time, but there's at least like some big fines and probably some jail in there.
So they proved that it was a fake.
He finally admitted it after, they turned the lights on him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to admit it for a while. At least not until the insurance check clears.
Yeah. Well, fortunately,
Jesus.
it wasn't flying yet, so I don't think the authorities have jurisdiction over which direction your van
We're
faces.
good. We're
Upside
good.
down or rubber side down.
Man, it is wild to think back to just when that happened and like what's happened in the last few months since then.
Yeah.
Big shift in like multiple ways. I mean, we were already building the building. That was already happening. So when the van, when we rolled the van, it was like, this is the worst time to freaking roll your van ever. Cause I have zero time on my plate. I have a million other things distracting me. Like I don't need to be building a new van right now. This is awful. Not to mention the financial impact.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very expensive accident.
Certainly.
And now I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, I guess it was a blessing. And I always try to have like that glass half full kind of mentality. Like, all right, we'll get through this. Like what's the good that's going to come out of it? And no, it's been really good, but it's an interesting like mind exercise to think like, well, what would have happened had that never happened? And we've just like continued on.
Yeah.
Like, would it have forced me to get uncomfortable or, would I have changed my marketing strategy a bit? Would I have like kind of gone a different direction with my branding? And probably not.
Yeah. And it's not, and again, it's not something that like ever can play into that 5-year plan on your imagining mind. Like, yeah, what would happen if I rolled my van? Like you would imagine, oh, that's it.
We're done.
We're going to shut the doors and cross our fingers and hopefully scratch our way back to someplace. But yeah, it would never occur to you that it could be a positive thing.
Yeah. I'm glad mostly it was a positive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that you guys are okay is
that's the huge takeaway for sure. Which is impressive considering what were we doing? 90 miles an hour or something?
I think he said it was 95, but
that's
someone else was listening. So
that's what the YouTube comment said. But
it's dangerous. It's so dangerous.
Irresponsible. We did talk about that guy. And I feel like we should just bring it up really quickly.
We must.
Thank you if you're listening or watching, which surely this guy is.
Yeah.
What was his name? Drew. Old Drew.
Young Drew, maybe?
I think he's probably our age. Yeah. But if you check out his website, which we still need to look at that because it's incredible. He has us listed as like a blacklisted company on his like crazy wild website.
Heavily trafficked
And
website, I'm sure.
I'm sure I'd love to see the traffic count on that thing. And yeah, says that we we were like a fraud company. Started with a bunch of capital funding, blah, blah, blah. Pretty funny. He definitely spent a lot of time writing comments to us and then like putting that up on his website. And I really just, I'm so curious, like what's why?
it do for you?
Like, well, no, I mean, just what caused that? Like, why would you want to spend, I mean,
who did this?
If I saw something on the internet and it pissed me off, I'd just ignore it. I just move on with my life.
Yeah.
But he really went out of his way to make a point.
He sure did. And yeah, it's interesting that there's no bringing him back. You said that you had some contact with him.
Yeah.
Later,
so, initially I blocked him because after the accident, I was just like, I didn't want any negative, crap in my life. I'm like, dude, I don't need this troll like making these comments. So I just blocked him immediately. And then down the road, we came up with this, dangerous, stupid, irresponsible, foolish branding thing. And my brand manager was like, dude, yeah, we should definitely make that into a hoodie. We should make stickers, like whatever. Let's go for it. That's great. Let's do that. And so we later posted that we were making hoodies out of it. And he came back through his business account to our Facebook and like started commenting. And Marissa, my media manager, was like, oh, hey, guess who's back? And I was like, dude, ask him for his address. Let's send him a care package. Because he was like, if you're going to use my words, I should at least get some compensation for it or something like that, right? So she asked for his address, which he immediately sent to her, which is hilarious. Like immediately was like, here's the address. And then he just started going off with more like really inappropriate comments and just, I mean, it was pretty mean stuff that he was saying to her. And I'm sure he didn't know he was talking to her, not me. But she was like, I'm just blocking this guy. It's
such a shame.
It's terrible. So she like completely blocked his business
close
thing.
To being such
like
a
it could have been. We could have rounded the corner together
and not flipped.
Yeah, anyways, I've still got a hoodie for him. I'm gonna put it in a little commemorative case.
Maybe
so if you
some oxygen.
Yeah, we'll send him some oxygen. So if you ever want to come in and grab that, come on by.
Yeah, again, couldn't write it in the story.
No. Yeah, that was awesome. Thank God for trolls.
Thank God for trolls. No. More harm than good, I think,
yeah,
overall. But in this case, I'm glad that you turned it into Krusty the Clown van, Barney van,
whatever. Ties, I'm calling it the Barney Mobile.
I think after a few more months of staring at the wrap, we're gonna distill down
exactly what it is.
Most hilarious nickname for it.
Well, there's more coming. I mean, there's going to be more ridiculousness happening. You haven't seen the inside at all yet.
No, I haven't even opened the door yet.
So it's equally as obnoxious.
Oh, okay.
So we did the smart floor.
Yeah.
And all the airline track, I powder coated magenta to match the outside. The trim plates we powder coated in the lime green. And then on the walls, we're going to do halfway, it's aluminum composite will be the walls, and then halfway up I'm gonna bed liner it.
All right.
But we're tinting the bed liner to match, so it'll be magenta on the wall.
Shit.
And then all of the J channel and airline track on the walls. So I'm doing like the Van Wife Versa bed, so it uses J channel. All the channel and track on the walls and the ceiling are all powder coated. And then Nick at RB Components is getting me dialed in with like custom cabinets for it. And he's like, what do you want them white? Or what? I was like, no, I want them raw because we're going to wrap it to match the outside of the van. So we're wrapping all the cabinetry the same pattern as the outside of the van.
God bless your powder coat.
Oh, dude, Eric, my boy, he's the dude, man. I don't know why he still answers the phone when I call.
Yeah.
Because it's serious. He actually just texted when we were recording our trial run episode. Yeah. And told me that my rails were done. But I'm always calling him. I'm like, hey, bro, let's do this. And you can just like hear the eye roll. Like,
gets more ridiculous every time.
Whatever, dude. Sure.
You think, I don't think you're going to go this way, but maybe just, a little juxtaposition of the absurdity, like on the inside, maybe a small, nothing over the top, just like a sensory deprivation tank in there, just something to
like a black room, like just do a shower stall that's black.
Yeah, you're going from magenta bed. You're
No.
spinning around. You're at,
Oh, I didn't tell you that either. Van Wife is doing so the Versa bed. I think mine's like the first production run of their new version, and they're sending it over raw, so I can get it all powder coated. So each panel, it's like a 4-panel bed system. We're gonna do a different color.
Are you gonna like travel around with like someone to sobriety test anyone who goes in there or gets near it? Because
I think I have to.
yeah, you could be sending some people into psychotic breaks in there. Like,
Is it required? Like, if you go inside, is it required that you like consume mushrooms or something?
I think it's required the opposite. That you're not. You cannot,
like you have to be sober before you can
at
experience
least
this.
some level of sober, some percent sober to be in there.
Yeah.
Or else
Maybe I'll have Marissa start traveling with me for all that, just to kind of cover our ass on the,
she's
the liability
a
side.
new job title.
Yeah.
Breathalyzer administration.
It's been a really fun project. It's been super fun to like build something that I just like no holds barred, exactly what I want to build.
Yeah.
Just like that fits my personality. So it's been good. Josh, my sales manager, is getting a new van this week.
Oh, exciting.
I know.
Does he have a plan?
It's a Rebel.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Well, we know what's next.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap it Krusty the Clown 2. Was it?
Are
no.
you serious?
No.
That doesn't seem like Josh.
No. Josh is not quite as flamboyant, if we will.
That's the correct word.
Yeah. So we'll wrap it, I'm sure, but I don't know in what exactly. But it's going to be really cool.
Okay,
and
how about this?
Okay, yeah, ready.
Sheep's wool. Or other, animal products.
What do you got against sheep?
Nothing against sheep. We can go cowhide, marmot fur, whatever.
Kind of like you're going like what's her name? Lady Gaga style with her like meat suit. Is that what you're?
I haven't seen this meat suit, but I guess that's at the end of the day what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Like something natural, something to blend in.
No,
We're in cattle country.
I don't think so. As much as I hate to say it, here's my prediction. Josh is probably never going to watch this podcast, but
I hope not.
I'm sure customers will watch it and then tell him. So I got to be careful here. There's going to be some like matte black or some subdued camo or something like that. That's just my guess. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm good with it. It looks cool. It looks clean.
Molly panels, they're functional.
Fucking Molly panels everywhere.
Yeah. They hold the things you need when you need them, like oxygen.
Yeah, it'll probably turn out looking pretty tactical, honestly. It'll be tactical.
Good. Well, hopefully it doesn't have any primer gray on the outside. Hopefully the windows don't spontaneously
What are we
break.
doing to your van while it's here? Because it's kind of a thing. You can't be on the show and not like have something done to your van. Talon was here and got like a ridiculous amount of stuff done.
Yes, he did. We are at least going to put some new
Wheels and
tires on that
Fuck
thing.
yes.
And I don't know. What else you got? I'd love to brainstorm the most ridiculous thing that we could do to it.
Here's the deal. I sound like Dave right now.
Let me tell you.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, dude. We got to get that guy on the show, man.
He must be here.
He won't listen to this show.
I know.
You know why? He's like, I don't like listening to my friends talk on the video. It's fucking weird. I'm not gonna do it. So you won't watch.
I feel the exact opposite about Dave.
Yeah.
I would listen to hours.
Dude, I would.
Talking about anything.
I do. I tune it. I call Dave when I'm on a road trip, and I'm like, I'm just gonna listen to the Dave podcast for 2 hours.
Which is my real life.
I just put it on speaker, and I'm like, there you go. It's amazing.
That's so funny.
What did you say? He could sell ice to a polar bear
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yes. So what were we?
We're talking about just workshopping some ideas for the Boulder Nomadic flagship vehicle.
Yes. So we could do, if you had a day, right, tomorrow, you could do full suspension. You could get it ripped and make it even taller, wheels and tires. We could do all kinds of lighting on it. What else could we do in that amount of time? This last minute. I mean, it's almost 6 o'clock now. No, it's 5:30 right now.
Yeah.
So I think the team already left for the day. So if I let them know in the morning, I'll just shoot them a text on their way in, like, hey, by the way, you're doing another rip kit and wheels and tires and whatever else. Like, they'll be fine, right? It's fine.
They're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
A rip in a day. That's kind of your
They'll bust it
tagline.
out. It is.
Rip kit in a day.
Yeah. We do that a lot.
Is that fast? I don't do suspension really, or more kind of the stuff that you do a lot of, like the more chassis related things. I am pretty light on, besides like alternators and for power systems, and I'm much more on the camper van interior side. I do a lot of lights and bumpers and exterior stuff, but not anywhere near the volume. So I don't have access to the,
Dude, we could do it. We could definitely do a bumper tomorrow. Easy. I've got a stack of them here.
What do you got?
Take your pick.
I know what you got.
You know what I got. I got it all.
I want it all.
Yeah, could we do a cartooned, agile, luminous backwoods mashup, please?
Yeah. And that will
it's kind of like my van, actually. It's got a little bit of everything on it. My van's pretty equal opportunity when it comes to brand loyalty,
it's
honestly.
Inclusive.
It's very inclusive.
Yeah. I love that about it.
No, honestly, I just love, like, the products that are on it are what I love. Like, that's what I like.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to put on it.
What do you put in that rocket box, by the way?
I've got, so what's in there right now? Inventory in the rocket box. 2 ARB camp chairs. Okay. Like the super nice plush ones, right? I've got a box of def. I've got a couple quarts of oil, some like
heavy stuff,
consumables like that. Not that heavy. I've got a sleeping bag in there. As like a last ditch, you roll your van, you need somewhere
and it's easy to get to.
Yeah, so it's right
over
there, so you can get to it. What else do I have in there? Oh, I think I have like my off-road, like my H1 scissor jack. Like I keep that in there because I don't really use that much, so it's up out of the way. And then usually I'll put, when it's riding season, I'll have like a second set of riding boots. I'll have like my adventure riding jacket, like not as commonly used gear in there. So if I usually have all my moto gear in the van, like in a gear bag, and then I'll have my adventure riding gear up there. Yeah, it's nice.
That old gas just gets you ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have like 2 on your last van?
Rocket boxes? Yeah. And I staged it up on this, but this actually looks better. I like the big one in the middle.
I think of you whenever I see a rocket box on a van. It's a rare treat, and it's usually kind of buried in like a lower roof rack, but
this
you
is
wear
loud
it
and proud.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess rocket boxes are not really a thing on vans, honestly.
No, I mean, for good reason. They're sky high. You ever try and get a pair of skis?
Yeah, but that's why
roof,
that's why I have 2 ladders, dude.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
2 ladders. So 2-man lift. You can open the rocket box and then both carry skis down.
My a good friend of mine and neighbor up at the shop was a carpenter. He's got a Sprinter, and he's a huge skier. Has a family of 2 kids and a wife. They go skiing all winter long.
Yeah.
And skis, obviously. The guy is going to slip off and die one of these days.
What kind of ladder does he have?
He has a flatline.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a single ladder, though.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad whenever he comes in the shop. He's got to take the box off, obviously, because I cannot air down below box height. And so sometimes I'll work freezing cold out in the winter just in front of the shop so he doesn't kill himself slipping off the roof. But most of the time, it's got to come off in like near-death experience. If you want to talk about dangerous, irresponsible, it's not sexy. It's like you got a family, you're trying to get ready for the ski trip and trying to get in the box, and that's it. But fingers crossed that doesn't happen to you. And the 2 ladders, I think, is a good strategy.
Yeah, safety first.
Safety first.
12, honestly.
Yeah. Maybe you could do a little like arm, like a little winch arm.
Oh, like a jib crane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jib crane. That's what I've never heard of that, but
yeah.
Why not? Put it up there.
Then I can start doing like motor swaps on the side of the road. Right?
Yeah. There's an earth roamer that has a
for the spare tire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good idea. You could do that.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
It's going to be a lot of
And I
stuff
don't
strapped
want
to the outside of this.
Yeah, it's going to get ridiculous. I mean, I don't really want much more than that.
I don't think
light whips,
you can fit more.
Light whips and wakeboard tower speakers.
Wakeboard tower. I mean, that's obvious.
It's kind of necessity.
Tower.
Yeah. Wait, you're saying do the actual tower? Like put the tower on there?
I'm not talking about anything crazy here. Just like a tasteful small tower.
Chrome?
6 to 12 speakers.
Purple.
Obviously full chrome.
Oh.
With a little maybe purple backglow behind the speakers. Maybe they change
I
with the...
did do... Yeah, the speakers have backlight. I've already picked them out.
Okay.
I just need that sponsored. But I did do upper glow. Yeah.
Upper glow?
Yeah, so I did underglow, of course.
Yeah.
So it's got underglow.
That's the only
wheels.
glow that I've heard of.
Yeah, right. But I did upper glow. So I did rock lights around the perimeter of the roof, and then underneath of the train horns, I did rock lights. So when you kick them on, it like illuminates the horns at night while you go down the road.
Now that's tasteful.
Yeah, just tasteful upper glow.
Nice.
No big deal.
Well, I'm glad they're not pointed up because, as the name implies, because if, nothing's higher than that van. That's the tallest thing that I've ever seen.
It's not as tall as my old one.
Are you serious?
I think because the WeBoost channel or the WeBoost antenna was taller. Yeah. Otherwise, I think this is right at 11 feet. I think it's 11 feet. Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's
moderate. Is it 11 or 12? I don't remember now. I measured
If it's 11, then it's only 1 foot higher than my door, and if it's 12, it's 2. No big deal.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's bad. Are you gonna do a Starlink up there?
Yeah, it's already up there.
Oh, nice.
It's on the rocket box.
Oh
you see it?
God,
Can you see it from? Yeah,
I was wondering what that was.
Staring at the van.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out what that is, but I guess you're sitting right here.
Can you see the cord running off the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's to the Starlink.
All right.
Yep. It's perfect.
They're sweet.
I love them.
If I wanted to have the internet, which I do but don't, I would certainly put one on.
Yeah. We may actually do Starlink on the new shop because CenturyLink is who we use now, and it's just kind of a nightmare. It's not that good of internet. And they're like, yeah, we don't really have service to do another building out here.
They always say that.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're like, well, for like $500 a month, we could, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna get Starlink.
Honestly, and it will be crazy fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone that I have chatted with that has it on their van and has spent some time using it or have installed one for, they have all, loved it. Seems to work very well. I
really liked it. I was way against it last year, like early.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I want to get off and camp and not be connected, but then I would never leave because, I had work to do. I had to be in contact. And so I finally bit the bullet, got it, and it was a game changer.
GC. Yeah,
because I could go camping and never worry about cell service, but still be able to answer emails and make sure that things at the shop were going fine. And being able to go on like even those short little trips with your industry friends and like spend time on the, the overland type trips, like that's huge. It's huge for marketing. It's good for my like personal well-being and it's just good for like relationship building. So
yeah, as long as you're not, it doesn't enable you to play online poker when you're
you could do that. Yeah,
but that's not about that.
No. I mean, we still sat around the campfire.
Yeah,
but it just enabled me to like in the morning when you wake up and you're drinking your coffee, you could check your emails and not freak out going, I wonder if these customers need something right now.
Yeah, that keeps me up at night. So when I'm out where there's no signal, it's a bit of a blessing, but it's like it's just hiding.
It's just hiding. Because you're gonna get back and check your phone and like, ding, ding, ding.
Even more little bubbles.
Do customers have your personal cell phone number?
Yeah, it's the only number I have.
Oh God.
Which is unfortunate, and it didn't. I mean, it's the kind of thing. It didn't used to be a problem, and the customers were like, you know, I would have not so many of them in a certain amount of time because I was doing larger jobs and it was very personal. But now that it's a mix of installs, it's like a lot of my phone numbers and a lot of people's contacts, and it's become super hard to get back to everyone.
Yeah, my problem is I want to be able to answer the questions and like be able to be of service to those customers. And I have a lot of older customers that have been with us for a long time that have my cell number before I had any office numbers. And they'll just text, you know, at whatever random hours. And it's great. I mean, it's awesome that they can text and I can reply. But sometimes you're like just so overwhelmed with calls and texts and stuff like that. You're like, dude, I can't reply. I wish I wish they would just go through the normal channels because you'd get better service than just trying to reach me directly.
I wish that my normal channels were any better than the direct ones, but yeah, they're full up. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to both do all the work and do what it takes to run the business, and then be responsive as well. So I'm sorry if you're waiting for me. Eventually, I'll get there.
Looks like everybody's leaving now. I'm looking out the window here at the shop. Brooke's leaving in the Jeep. I wonder if Bill's still here.
Door's open over there.
Oh, he is still hanging around. He's waiting. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think we covered some good bases here. We certainly hit a lot more high points on the last time, but we'll be back.
We'll be back. It's great to have you over. Thanks for making this happen.
Yeah. Thanks for existing over here. It's a little bastion of light.
Yeah.
In the industry.
You're going to come back over here for Van Wild this year.
Certainly.
September 14th.
Yeah.
Through the 17th. Yeah. Those are the right dates.
And hopefully before then.
Yeah.
We'll do some motorcycle.
We need to go ride. I've got the 701 Enduro, you know, the Husky, the true Austrian bike there. They've been pioneering since 1903, bro.
1903. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Mm-hmm. What's KTM been doing since then?
I have no idea.
Right.
I have no clue.
But we need, I think it's probably another month or two, honestly, with all the snow we had before we can get up high. Because there's still a lot of snow.
Well, we don't need to worry about what it's like to get up high because we have some Boost Mobile or Boost Oxygen. We can go anywhere we want with that.
Yeah. Well, let's make it happen. And thanks for coming over, man.
All right. See ya. Yeah, you too.
All right. Later.